Hey friends, I have a question for you. Maybe some of you will know the answer. I think I do, but I want to make sure I'm right. So if you recall a while back, I said I was going to restore an Atwater Kent Model 67, which is a full battery operated radio. There's no AC and there's no components inside the unit. So basically what I have to do is I have to use one of those antique radio battery eliminators. And I'm sure most of you are familiar with this kit. It's the K101A, which has regulated A, B, and C, which is fine. So here's my dilemma. So the Atwater Kent Model 67 has an unusual voltage that other radios that are battery operated don't have. So in order to get this radio to work, I need 180, 45, 135, and 67.5. And then my C is probably going to be about 5 volts or so. I'm not worried about that. So here's the dilemma. This device that I'm going to build has the 45, which I need, has the 67, which I need, and has the 135, but it doesn't have a 90. I'm sorry, it doesn't have the 180. I need 180, it only has a 90 here. So, looking at the schematic, I think I have a workaround, but I'm not entirely sure. So if I follow the schematic up here, I'm going to get close so you can see it. Before we go into Q1, you'll see that there's a test point there of 190 volts DC. So what I'm thinking is I continue this leg here from R1 into the collector of Q1, but I could also put a separate terminal from here out with a small resistor, which will bring it down to 180. So I should have my 190 coming in here, and then I can have 180 coming out on a separate terminal here. I don't think that's going to hurt anything. I think that would work. And just to give you an idea of how it's laid out on the board, here's Q1 right here. Here's R1 where it connects to the collector right here. So what I would do is I would put a separate connection point right here coming up with a resistor and list it as 180. Now I'm pretty sure that this thing could handle it. So I'm not too worried about that. I mean, it's handling the 180 here. But the other question, the question I have is, given that I'm not using the 90, this appears to be some kind of voltage divider. So perhaps I can do something here to double this voltage. I just don't know enough about it to know the answer. All right. So that's kind of my question to you is, what would be the best way to get the 180 volts DC? Do I pick it up here on the 190? Or can I do something here to bring that 90 and double it? There's no resistors here that I can take out. There's only diodes, right? So that's the question. So looking forward to see if you have any suggestions on what we can do. The part that I'm a little baffled on right now, it could be that this diode, excuse me, okay, sorry about that. So the part that I don't quite understand yet is we go here for 67 volts, we go through this diode D9 and D8 and we step up to 90. Then we come up through these two and we step up to 107. And then ultimately we step up to 135. So if I follow this schematic correctly, let's make sure I know what I'm doing. Here's my rectifier. We come out here, come across to my B+, okay? We come up here, and we're sitting at a logical 45 volts DC. Up here we're at 135, so these resistors are manipulating the voltage, right? I'm sorry, not resistors, diodes. They're manipulating the voltage. And I believe that these diodes are all N4741As. So I have to look into that. Possibly if I use a different value diode, maybe I can pull the 180 out of here. So I want to see what any of you think. I'm going to continue to do research as well and figure it out, but I'm not going to start building this thing until I know what I'm going to do. And I'm sure you're familiar with this one. This is the block of wood, and they give you the sticker, and you put the sticker on there, and you take an awl, and you punch holes, and you screw these things in, and that's what you do. All right, So I appreciate your help. Anybody that can give me a suggestion on what you think is the right thing to do, I would appreciate it. This is Ron.